Hello and welcome to this Yoga for Strength class. I'm Sally. So, yoga is often associated with being flexible, but it's also really good for building holistic and balanced strength throughout the body using only our body weight. I just want to remind you that during this practice, we should always be moving and holding the poses, the postures, with steadiness and with ease. So if you feel that strain starting to creep in, take a pause, bring it back. And if anything hurts, don't do it. It shouldn't hurt. Okay, so modify, adapt anything you need to so that it works better for you. I will try to give you possible modifications and adaptations as we go through. And if anything doesn't feel right, just skip it. Okay, let's begin. So I'm going to come over to my mat. I've got a bolster here to sit on. It's advisable not to sit directly on the floor. It's not very comfortable. So if you don't have a bolster like this, a cushion or a block or even a chair, you can use any of those things. We won't be seated for very long, but it's just to make sure that you are comfortable and you're not just thinking about how uncomfortable you are. So I'm going to come and take a seat on my bolster. I'm just going to make myself comfortable. So I'm sitting cross-legged, but if that's not comfortable for you, sit with your legs out in front of you, or as I say, sit on a chair if that feels more comfortable. Take a moment to settle yourself down. And if you're comfortable closing your eyes, doing so, this just helps us to draw our attention inwards. If, however, you're not comfortable closing your eyes, that's completely fine. Keep your eyes open, but see if you can soften your gaze and keep your gaze steady on one point rather than allowing it to wander around the room. We're going to take a few moments now at the beginning of our session to simply check in with ourselves and see how we are doing, how we're feeling before we begin our practice. Take a moment to notice your body in contact with the ground or with your block, your bolster, your cushion or your chair. And allow that feeling of pressure against your body to ground you. Now bring your attention to your posture, to how you are sitting, to your spine. Gently lengthen your spine, but without becoming rigid. Just gently, so that you are sitting tall without straining or trying too hard. Also lengthen the back of your neck, drawing your chin in slightly. Soften your shoulders, common area to hold tension. Invite them to soften to release. And your hands, notice them. Rest them comfortably and softly in your lap. And then bring your attention to your face. Again, another common place to hold tension is in the jaw and in the forehead. Just notice these areas and invite them to soften too. Your jaw, your tongue, your forehead. Take a moment now to notice how you're feeling as we start this practice, physically in your body, emotionally, energetically. What's happening in your mind? What thoughts are with you? Try to notice all of these things without being critical of yourself, without being judgmental. That's all too easy to do. Try to be kind to yourself and try to just be curious about what is going on for you. Now, bring your attention to your breath. Don't try to control or change your breath in any way. See if you can notice the natural flow of air in and out of your body. Notice the sensation of air passing in and out of your nostrils. The sensation of air passing down your throat. And the gentle movement of your body as you breathe in and breathe out. And know that when your attention begins to wander during our session, as it will do, that's what our mind does, that's what our attention does, that you can bring it back gently to your breath. And it doesn't matter how many times you have to do that. Don't allow yourself to feel frustrated if your attention is wandering around a lot. Just notice that it is. Guiding our attention back to our breath, back to the practice that we are engaged in, is the practice. Before we begin our physical practice of asana now, we're going to chant the Om sound 3 times. This act of chanting helps to calm and focus our mind and our nervous system. It helps to stimulate our vagus nerve and helps to increase the production of nitric oxide in our body, which helps to widen airways and blood vessels. So try to create a nice strong sound, creating vibrations throughout your body. You can bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, which is where we bring the hands together, a bit like prayer, but we're bringing the thumbs together within the palm. Or you might choose Chin Mudra, which is where we make a circle with the thumb and the first finger and place our hands palm up in our lap. Or you might just choose to rest your hands comfortably in your lap, whatever feels better for you. Okay, taking a gentle breath in. Okay, if you have your eyes closed, gently opening them now. And we're going to come up to a standing position to begin. Let's try and come up from the seated position using our core strength as much as we can. So if you are able to, if you're sitting cross-legged, what we will aim for eventually, maybe nowhere near this at the moment, is to be able to come up like this. Okay, so we're coming onto the side of our feet and using our core strength to come up. Very likely that that's not possible for you at the moment, and that's completely normal. We're not used to sitting on the floor and coming up and down from the floor. So what we can do is come onto our knees, and from there, put one foot to the floor and then come up to standing. Okay, this is Caffrey, by the way, if you're wondering who this is. She's a very old lady, so we're not moving her. And this has been her comfortable position for the last few weeks now. She's been here every day, bless her. So she can stay. Okay, so let's just give ourselves a little bit of a loosen off to begin. So just allow yourself to go a little bit floppy. Do what feels good for you. Maybe swing your arms around your body. Maybe even have a little bit of a gentle jump up and down. Or maybe having a nice stretch, reaching up as you would do when you first wake up in the morning. And releasing. Maybe give your shoulders a little bit of a roll. Individually or together, backwards and forwards. It's a common place to hold tension here in our shoulders. So it's just loosen them off a little bit, soften them. Okay, so now let's find a comfortable, strong and stable standing position. Become aware of your feet in contact with the mat, with the floor. And place your feet around hip distance apart so that they're directly underneath your hip joint. And that means that all of our body weight is going down directly through those big bones in our legs. Again, draw yourself up tall, lengthen your spine, but without becoming rigid, just gently. Keep your shoulders soft. We're just going to take a moment to notice our breath and lengthen our breath slightly, and particularly notice the exhalation. So if you like, you can place a hand on your tummy to feel the movement of your tummy as you breathe. Focusing on the exhalation. As you breathe out, your tummy engages slightly, the muscles there engage, and we draw it in slightly to help to push the air up and out of our lungs. As you inhale, just allow your tummy to soften and expand. Completely let go, release the muscles there, and allow the air to flow in. As you exhale, once more, lightly engage your tummy muscles, draw the tummy in. When you reach the end of your exhalation, once more allowing your tummy to simply soften and expand. We don't need to push it out, we just allow it to expand. Be careful, as always, that you're not trying too hard. It's just a small movement, particularly when we're standing. We're also using these muscles to keep us in the standing position. Okay, and then release the breath again once more. Just allow the natural flow to return. Now, the reason I wanted to highlight that engagement on the out breath, on the exhalation, is throughout this session, I will remind you to try to make the effort during an exhalation. This is because during that exhalation, we naturally engage in the core. So if we make the effortful part of that movement on the exhalation, we're going with our body, we're working with our body. We should be more stable. Okay, so let's begin our movement practice. We're going to start still with our feet around hip distance apart and with our arms by our side. We're going to move with our breath. As we start to breathe in, we're going to raise our arms up above our head, reaching our fingertips for the ceiling. Feel that engagement through your whole body as you reach up. And then as you start to breathe out, we're going to lower the arms back down by our side, and we're going to bend our knees a little, sending the bottom back into a half squat position. You'll notice that my arms are just slightly out to the side, my palms are facing forwards, and I'm keeping my chest lifted. So rather than allowing my chest to collapse forward like this, I'm keeping the chest lifted. I'm just going to turn to the side so that you can see my position a little bit better. I'm going to hold that half squatting position for 3 breaths. So you will have already been holding it for 3 breaths. So as we inhale now, we're raising the arms back up again and straightening the legs, reaching the fingertips again for the ceiling, engaging through the whole body. And then as we start to breathe out, we are again coming in to the half squat position and holding for 3 breaths.